It's Deprogrammed, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. All you have to do is sit back and listen. That's right, we've done all the work for you. Simple as that. Today's band is Interpol, and as I said, all the work's been done for you. It's hard work sometimes doing this show, and that's because, indeed, hard work works. The Hard Work Works app is $9.99 in your app store, and that's $9.99 a month, and all you have, well, shoot, the app is free. Download it for free, but if you want workouts directly to your phone that you can do any place with any kind of equipment you got, if you got none, cool. Joe will put together a weight-based workout, your own weight, push-ups and such, and he will get you in tip-top physical. And that, as they say, is the real truth. And Hard Work Works, I don't know what it is about this whole Rona thing that has me unable to do live reads. It's impossible right now, so I'm going to stop it. But hard work does indeed work. Get the Hard Work Works fitness app and hashtag join the hustle. As I said, we're talking about Interpol today, so I want to throw it over to Slights first, because Slights, I believe that Interpol was your baby here. We're doing Interpol because you put it up on the board.
Yeah, Interpol kind of came. I don't know what it is about them. Like there's a couple of the albums I'd never heard before. Their sound was just very unique compared to a lot of what else was coming through. They're part of the New York alt scene of the late '90s, early 2000s that had like the Strokes and Yeah Yeah Yeahs and all those kinds of bands, and their sound was just so different from all of them. And they're a band that I kind of slowly grew to love, as opposed to a lot of bands that like just click instantly. It took a little time for me to find my groove with them, but when I did, it stuck really hard. So excited to talk about it.
Yeah, actually, your exact words were when I I can talk. When I put the panel together, were, "Oh, this is going to be a treat."
Yes.
So let me bring it over to the treat. Bryan's joining us.
Yeah.
Ooh, the treat.
You jumped on Interpol relatively late, even though I was fairly certain you were an Interpol fan even before you jumped on. I don't know if maybe you just didn't see it and you were like, no, let me in on that.
Yeah, I somehow just overlooked it, man. They were one of those bands like Arcade Fire we did last time, where like I was going through this phase where I didn't listen to modern music, and I was like, I already like Joy Division. Why do I want to listen to Interpol? And then I got into them because of the Gloom, because of Phil again, and then I really got into them and appreciated them as a band. So
it's Slights brought up that New York sound, and that was one of the first things that I was drawn to. So the thing that I disliked about them, like kind of like you were saying, Bryan, was at the time I was out. I wanted nothing to do with that New York rock sound. I wanted nothing to do with, quote unquote modern music. I wanted nothing to do with it. And when I started listening to them for this, they're definitely really close to that New York sound, close enough to know that that's where they are coming from, but different enough that I could fall in love with them. Lauren says hi. But the thing that I liked was that they're a distant relative to Radiohead. Like they married that New York sound to kind of what, like the Benz era, OK Computer era of Radiohead. Like, again, it's not apples to apples.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But they're married. They're, they live around the corner from each other. They're not.
They had the same influences, so yeah, it makes sense.
And I was immediately drawn to that as I'm listening, because again, like they hit you right off the top with where you're like, oh, okay, this is another one of those New York bands where I was like, okay, I'm in, because listening to the Strokes, listening to the Killers kind of softened my stance on that kind of music. And then for this to have that marriage, that closeness to that Radiohead sound, it softened the blow a little harder. This isn't like the hardest 360 I've turned, but I really, really enjoyed listening to Interpol.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
So walk me through putting your 20 together, Slights.
You messaged the group at one point and mentioned how brutal some of these cuts were, and it really was like I had to go off of like basic instinct at some point where like after like scrolling through my list so many times, I had to like eventually like if I just like even thought for a second that it had to be cut, then that was just like the determination because it was just I can't think on it too much or else it just gets too hard to choose. And it took a long time to curate this list down to 20.
And Bryan, usually you're cursing my name when doing these lists. Was it a little easier this time? Because I didn't get cursed out.
This actually was one of the easiest lists I've done.
Oh,
and that's no discredit to the band. I think I already knew what my favorite songs were and already had this list kind of in my head for the past couple years. So yeah, it was fairly easy for me.
So for me, I found their discography, while each album has subtle differences, I found that it's a consistent discography. There's no like significant drop anywhere where it's like, nah, I don't need anything from this album. Nah, like I think it took me 3 rounds to get it down to the 20, is what I'm getting at. My first pass through.
Yeah.
My first pass through easily, I think there were 70 songs in total. My first pass through easily could have had 60. But like Slight said, I had to go with my gut on a lot of the first cuts. Is if there was even an inkling that it was not going to stick around, it had to go because I didn't want to do that to myself. So I got it down to 39 on the first pass. And then on the second pass, I still had like 27, 28. I'm like, I still got to get 7 more out of here. Oh no. And then on my third pass, I only lost 3 more. So earlier this morning, I had it down to 24. And again, that first instinct of, okay, if I even have an inkling that it might not be in the 20, it needs to just go because I don't want to listen to these all over again and not get anywhere and then just have this internal struggle. There's a lot of great songs here. Like the one thing they have different from Radiohead is a lot of times with Radiohead, you need the whole album for the songs to make sense. Interpol was, I found, great. You can pluck out all the songs and they all work on their own. So that worked in that it made putting the list together easier, but it also made it a little bit more crucial as my picks. So I've been running my mouth here, but
well, that's kind of the idea of a podcast. Yeah.
Well, usually I like to let you guys talk more, but like I don't know. I was just really excited about Interpol now that I've finally given them the time of day.
Well, yeah, that's good. I'm glad you did.
So, with that being said, the name of the game is Deprogrammed, and we have each gone through the discography of Interpol and plucked out 20 songs that we're now going to mash against each other in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit. And here's something I really was happy to see. Lately, as with Arcade Fire, we got a couple responses. Fall Out Boy, we got the responses of, boo, these dudes suck. I always like to get the pulse of...
Boo those people that booed Fall Out Boy.
I mean, I didn't boo them, but I agree.
Now, look,
no!
the first couple Fall Out Boy records are good. Everything after that, if you want to boo... Everything after that...
Yeah, then they got really up their own ass, and yeah.
If you want to boo anything after the 4th record, fine. But those first 3 records are solid. At least that was my discovery with them. Anyway, getting off the point, I like to get the pulse of like the people that listen to this show and people that interact with the page. And we got a decent amount of answers.
I saw that, yeah. Considering
Interpol doesn't get a lot of run, like, I don't see a lot of people talking about Interpol. If I'm looking at Spotify, what other people are listening to, unless it's you, Bryan, I don't see anybody listening to Interpol. So it's
I don't think they're relatively successful in like a commercial sense. Like I don't think any of their albums.
No real radio hits on this side of the water or anything like that. Not to interrupt, sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't even think any of their albums have gone platinum. I think maybe Turn on the Bright Lights went gold. And that's probably about it. But yeah, they're not like they're far from independent, but they're not a mainstream band either. You know.
Yeah. So it was just weird to see, who has gravitated towards Interpol, and a couple of the answers I was just kind of shocked by because. They were on my radar, which made me go, "Oh no, I cut them! Oh no!"
Yeah.
But anyway,
do you think that they would sell out the Norva if they were? I mean, obviously not today because nobody would want to go. But in a normal environment, would they sell out the Norva? Do you feel like?
So
I saw them at the Norva a couple of years ago when
I missed that show. I wish I could have
yeah.
gone to that one.
I don't think it was sold out, but it was pretty packed though.
So capacity at the Norva was 1,500.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because I've only been to two fully, like, actually sold out shows: the Smashing Pumpkins in 2009 and Stone Temple Pilots in like 04, 05 probably, whenever that was. And that's like shoulder to shoulder.
It's miserable, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's as a 5'7" man, it's the worst thing ever.
I didn't mind so much at the Pumpkins because it was the Pumpkins, but at STP it was like, boy, okay. It's hard to say. Like, does anything sell out there anymore? Like, just
I've been to a couple in the last couple of years, but it's usually few and far between.
Yeah, not as much anymore. And I was going to say that's kind of an unfair metric to judge Interpol by, because they would sell out in like Brooklyn or LA in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
Whereas in here, like you said, they may do like 800 to 1,000, something like that.
Which is still a super respectable number if we're.
I think they would probably sell it in DC too.
Yeah, like any of your bigger markets, they would probably sell out. I mean, just to sidestep just a second, Hanson would sell out, but what is
Oh, I know this for a fact.
What is the metric? You know what I mean? Like, they just have a lot of diehards.
Dude, I mean, no offense to your lovely wife, but they're insane.
Yes.
Yeah, the Hanson diehards are they have a problem.
So what we're saying is Interpol not as good as Hanson. Judging by this metric.
If that's the metric. I don't think we want to do this to that band. So, but all right, that's something for later, I feel like. But point being, I really enjoyed my time with Interpol, and this, like, I blasted through that playlist. I blasted through all 70 songs. When I was putting the list together, when I first put the panel together, and by the way, Matt dropped out because he doesn't like Interpol as much as he remembered. I had to put him on blast.
That was a weird thing. Like, how could you go back and be like, what?
Well, what was he was saying? Like, Antics, he was still pretty fond of, but he tried to listen to the next one and he was like, just not feeling it. I think part of it is just he was too busy and forgot, and he was like, okay, well,
all right, that's fair.
But I honestly, I have this mindless game right now called Adventure Capitalist that you don't really have to pay a lot of attention to. So I put Spotify on and I made a list with all 70 songs in it, and I just push play, and I listened to pretty much all but the last album in the EP in that first go. And I was like, okay, this is fun. Number one, I like this band. The cuts weren't coming easy, but like it wasn't pulling teeth either. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think what I'm going to do here for my start, I'm going to start right at the top. They kind of tell you exactly what they are, which I found great about this band. They were exactly what I thought they'd be, but they had a sprinkle of surprise in every album. So I'm going to go here. Obstacle 1.
Yep, I got it.
I got it.
Hey, all right. And that was one that listeners brought up as well. So I must have been right about something.
That was my first addition to my list, actually.
Well, and if it's not track 1, I think it's track 2. But
Yeah.
again, like off the jump, they're like, this is what we are. And it tells you we are New York. We're New York rock. This is the basis of what we're doing. And you get everything you need to know about the band there. And then later on, they kind of ease you into some of the other stuff. So, all right, obstacle 1 is in. I dig it. All right, we will swing on over to Slights.
Let's go with the Untitled.
Yep, I got it.
Untitled?
Yeah,
it's one of my favorites.
Apparently, I don't have that one.
Boo.
Yeah, I know.
Boo.
Hold on a second.
It really establishes them right off the bat as one of the best rhythm sections to come out of that crop of artists.
Oh, absolutely.
Because just that bass and drum just blends in together so well. It's just like it's awesome. It's fantastic.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because there was a lot of times where, yeah, that rhythm section is tight and it is smooth and it is wonderful, and it really sets the tone for a lot of the Radiohead type stuff, as I said, that they do later. So
yeah.
All right. Well, Untitled moves into the conversation. It's not out. All right, Bryan?
All right, so I'm going to go with, I guess we'll stay on that first record still, NYC.
Yep.
Yeah, I have this one. This is one of the tracks that there are sometimes Interpol tracks where the first part of them are like they're okay, like they're not bad, and then like they'll go into these breakdowns or like the latter half of a song or the second like third, or you know what I mean, the last third of a song will be like this totally different sound that you just like want to live in for another 6 minutes or however long the track is, and that's one of those tracks for me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go here because normally I'm a track one guy. What I think is great about Interpol, their track ones are fine, but their last tracks are top effing notch.
I think they have really good bookends.
Like
their track ones are solid, and their closers are solid.
I love their closers, and I tried to get as many of the closers in, and if I'm not mistaken, this is one of them. I'm hoping I'm right here. A Time to Be So Small.
That was a hard cut for me, but he's not on here.
Yeah, that also was a difficult cut that I had to make.
Oh, I should have known from the silence. I should have known. That's okay. They're not all hits. All right, Slights.
Let's go with All the Rage Back Home.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
I actually really like that record a lot, too. Like, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, since Carlos left, but it's good stuff, man.
I found... hold on.
Yeah, I agree. That was the big concern. And then, but that single in particular, like, reignited my... what's the word I'm looking for? Not passion, that's too strong, but my interest, I guess, in listening to Interpol.
Hold on just 1 second. I knew I was forgetting something. I gave you guys that screen, and then I'm not doing anything with it.
Actually, can you send that screen over me again? Like, all I see is the recording software.
Oh, sure. Hold on. Yeah, I know what happened there. I see what happened. Dun, dun, dun. Lovely for listening, I'm sure, folks. I do apologize. There we go.
All right, awesome. It is my turn, yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is my one and only song from this record. This is my least favorite. Maybe that's. I think your EP might be lower on the list for me, but I thought this album was a disappointment, and they kind of went out with the original lineup with a whimper for me, and then got it back with El Pintor. But Lights is one of my favorite songs, but it's one of the only songs I love on this record.
Oh, I don't have that one. It was definitely on my first pass, But
it's a great song.
Okay. I'm glad you said that, Bryan, because I felt the same way about that record. The self-titled is
you could hear them breaking up on that record, really, or you can hear Carlos losing interest in the band. It's kind of uninspired.
Yeah, his heart was not in that one.
Yeah.
All right, so that swings it back to me. I wish I would have went with my gut.
And
though.
also, just can we just to address? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that the craziest thing, because we were mentioning the rhythm section earlier and how kind of unique it is and how well it blends, and then to find out years later that Carlos is a Dengler or a Dangler, I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name.
I'm not sure.
Left because he hated playing bass, which is a wild thing.
Yeah.
To be so good and creative at something, like one of the best at in your genre, and to like not even enjoy it. That's wild to me.
That is crazy. Just for you were right about Lights, by the way. The listeners chose Lights as one of their songs.
It really is grown. I think I'd put it in my top 3 favorite Interpol songs. It's a great fucking song on a not so great record.
But I think to hammer your point home, because we already have one from El Pintor, I freaking loved El Pintor.
I think it's great. Yeah.
I loved it too.
So I'm gonna go back to that record here. I'm gonna go with Anywhere.
Yep, I got it.
I do not.
Okay, well, it goes to the convo. And Slights.
Let's go with Come Here.
Oh.
Nope.
Off of No?
Nope.
Damn.
I know. I did have it. I think it was on one of my first passes. Or wait. Oh, there it is. Nope. Antics, right?
That's Antics, yeah.
Antics was tough for me because, like, at my first pass, I think I had 9 of the 11 tracks through. I was like, okay, something.
It's a banger for sure. I mean, it's not quite the album that Turn on the Bright Lights is, but it's damn fucking close.
All right.
It's a solid follow-up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Bryan?
I'm going to go with the opening track to that record. Probably my second favorite Interpol song of all time. A beautiful song, Next Exit.
No.
Oof.
I know.
You guys are trash. Not that song.
Well, I can admittedly say that I am indeed trash. So, all right, let me float out one of the few that got through for self-titled for me. Memory Serves.
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay. All right. Slights.
Stella was a diver and she was always down.
Yes, sir.
Nope. But it goes into the conversation.
And also a great fucking name for a song.
That is a great. I almost put it through just because of that. I seriously gave it consideration for its name.
It's just so much fun to sing, especially because of the part Stella. It's fucking great. It's a great song to sing.
All right, Bryan.
All right, my absolute favorite Interpol song on a completely underrated album, as far as I'm concerned, "Pioneer to the Falls," which I did see on listeners' picks, which I'm very impressed by.
Yeah,
it is a fucking gorgeous song.
I wish I would have stuck with my gut because I ended up cutting it.
Tisk tisk.
Yeah, that was a final cut for me.
I mean,
boys.
It was not an easy cut, I'll tell you that much. And then when I saw that the listeners chose it, I was like, oh, do I go back and listen and put it back on? Or do I just go with my gut? Guess I was wrong. Well, let me stay on that record, though. Let's just see if we can't find each other here. No I in Threesome.
Yep.
Oh, back in the right track.
That was another listener pick, too, I think.
Yes.
I saw it on 1 or 2.
Yep. All right. We're doing A-okay here, gents. All right, Slights.
Rest my chemistry.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's a no.
That song is weirdly popular. Like, it's a song I hear the most, like outside of my own listening. And when I saw him play, for some reason that was a song that everybody filmed. Like it's got a great groove to it, but it's weird that it's like such a popular song for them.
Song on Spotify.
Oh. All right. So that brings it. Wait, Rest My Chemistry was Slight, so it's Bryan's turn.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go to their last full length album, which it's okay. It's not my favorite for sure, but I love this song. If You Really Love Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I adore that song.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great song.
Well, what's funny is, so El Pintor, I don't want to say El Pintor felt like a return to form, but like it felt like Interpol. And then this record, specifically that song, felt like it easily could have fit on either of the first 2 records. And like it sounded like it could have easily been just an extra track from those.
I felt like El Pintor, they had something to prove, because they had to prove that they could still write great songs without Carlos. And then I felt like The Rover was this kind of uninspired follow-up. I haven't really been overly impressed in their last 2 efforts, honestly. But I mean, there's some gems here and there. I just found them to be kind of dull.
Yeah. All right, so that gets to the conversation. We're doing okay here. Where do I go? Let me go back to Antics. How about Narc?
No, it was really hard for me to cut anything from that record, but I had to.
You cut out on me. Did you say Narc?
Yes, sir. Narc.
Yeah, I had that one.
All right. And with that, we are officially out of NTP.
NTP, yeah.
We don't have to worry about that. All right. Slights.
Here. Breaker 1.
No.
Nope. I did like that they went back to that. I did like that they went back to that in the later records.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Bryan.
All right. Let me see. Let me go with the only track I have from their new EP, Real Life.
No.
And it really was just an ad to have something from every record.
Was that a no, Slights?
That was a no from me.
All right. All right. Let me come back to El Pintor. Twice as Hard.
Nope.
No from me.
Okay. All right, Slights.
Slow Hand.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
Yep.
got that.
I didn't want to, but I came back to. So everybody at this point who's ever listened to this show knows my relationship with the radio and radio songs, especially in that era. Slow Hands was one of those ones where I was like, oh God, please don't ever play this song again. And like I had that initial knee-jerk reaction when I was looking at the playlist and this song was coming up. And I was like, no, let's not knee-jerk. Let's just listen to it. And I was like, why did I ever hate this song? What's to hate? Like it's just a good jam.
I almost didn't put it on there because it is so popular, but you know me and that shit too. But it's undeniably a great song, man.
Yeah, it's just fun. And I feel like
it's a banger, man. I mean, it like if you don't dance with that song, you have no soul, I think.
Yeah, it was this track stuck in the back of my head as something that like was a reminder to eventually check out Interpol at some point when I heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen till a few years after, but eventually happened. And this was kind of one of the tracks that led me down that path.
And I mean, to that point, like I kind of alluded to it earlier with my first play, like Slow Hands is what Interpol does. Like there's variations to it, but like that's the best of what they do. So like why would it not be part of this conversation? All right, so that gives us 5. So we are doing way okay, even though it felt like that for a second there we weren't.
Yeah, we came together that first one and then just kind of fell apart there. But...
All right, Bryan.
All right. I'm gonna go with Everything Is Wrong, which is how I feel about most things most of the time.
If I had to guess, that was like 24. Because it was
That's a great song,
late.
man.
Yeah. I'm trying to...
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Like I said, I think El Pintor and Antics had the most after my first pass. So at one point, I probably could have put all of Antics and all of El Pintor through. So, all right. Where do I want to go here? I'm going to throw out some oddballs here that just kind of outliers. Party's Over.
No.
What was it?
Party's Over?
No, I don't have it on here.
Marauders was very hit and miss. I think Bryan kind of alluded to that.
Yeah.
I think there's some super high points, and I think overall as a record I enjoyed it, but like it anyway, I don't want to get into it anymore. All right, Slights.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about
record. Surveillance.
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Surveillance.
Oh, no, I don't have that.
Surveillance.
Yeah, I wish I would. I don't know. See, and this is where not giving it those extra plays would have come in handy. All right, into the trash it goes. Bryan?
All right. Let me go. Evil.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
No, I get that. That one very much fell to radio play, and whereas I had softened my stance on Slow Hands, I don't think I ever heard that song on the radio. It's one of the two.
I don't think I did either.
I remember it very distinctly. And I mean, it's not quite as negative anymore. I just didn't soften as much as well, I'll put it this way. It was going to either be Evil or Slow Hands, and I picked Slow Hands. So
Gotcha. Speaking of radio, I just listened to Pet Name earlier before I logged on here.
Yeah, you guys were on 96 today.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, I wish I could. I wish I could get my station back up and running, so people gave a shit about me.
I always care about you.
I give a shit about you.
Hey,
You're the only person who would ever played my solo record on any kind of radio capacity.
that's true. That is true. Man, that was. I don't know why I did that, but I did, and now I can't take it back. All right.
I quit.
Let me go with. Let me come back to Our Love to Admire. Who do you think?
No. I love that record, though.
That was a tough cut for me, but no as well.
Okay. I ain't worried about it. I ain't stressing it. All right. Slights.
The Heinrich Maneuver.
I just cut that like before we got here, man. That's a good song though, but hard cut.
Yeah, same. All right, Bryan.
All right, I'll pick my last one from Our Love to Admire. The Scale.
Nope.
Come again? What was it? I couldn't hear it.
The Scale.
No.
All right.
I'm whiffing them today, boys.
All right, so that puts me at 7 left.
I think I have less than that left.
All right, I'm going to try something from Marauder. How about The Rover?
Yeah, I got that.
I do as well.
Hey. All right. The Rover gets on.
That does sound like something that could be on their first record, honestly. And they actually did use the same analog mixer to record that on.
Ah. See, that's the info I need.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that is the info I need.
Yeah, it was like when the Pumpkins went back and used the same one they used on Melancholy. I believe it was on Zeitgeist that they did that with.
God, Zeitgeist is good. Okay. Well, let's not get into a Pumpkins conversation. That will get derailed quick. All right. So let's see. The Rover was me, so that is Slights.
New yet?
We have not, and I don't have it.
What song was that?
The New.
Yeah, I have that. That was actually my last addition to the list.
Okay. Well, you got.
Oh man, that's one of my favorite bass lines.
Yeah, it's good.
Of all time.
Well, I mean, number one, good thing Bryan had it to save it, and clearly I was wrong because the listeners had it too, and just for clarity, it was definitely on my first pass, so it's not.
It was like that. That was the song of the last 3 tracks on that album. They're kind of journeyman tracks, like, and I had to pick one of them. I didn't want to put all 3 of them through because they basically have the same fundamental idea, I think, but musically this one's the more interesting one to me.
All right, so the New was Slights, right?
Yes.
So it is Bryan's turn.
All right, I think this is my last one.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm not wrong about that. Yeah, man. Shit. Not Even Jail.
Yes. Not even.
No.
Okay, well, goes to the combo.
I like the slight delay. It leaves this like anticipation of like whether my song's gonna get to the trash or
not. Technology. All right. I think I just have too much going on this end. All right. So it is my turn. I've got 5 left. How are you looking there, Slights?
I think I only have 1.
Oh, okay. Well, let me try to find you here. How about It Probably Matters?
But we know I don't have it.
No.
Okay, so that goes in the trash. All right. trot your last one out?
Tidal Wave.
Oh man, that one was seriously 21. When I sent that text or the message to you guys, I had just cut that song.
That was the brutal cut.
Yeah. Well, because there was like three or four of my last cuts were from that album, and I was like, well, which one do I want? It was difficult. All right, so let me just clear out what I got left here. I got Success. I got Fine Mess off of the EP.
Success almost made mine.
I got No Big Deal, which I enjoyed a great big deal, and then Thrones also off the EP. So all right, okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obstacle 1, NYC, All the Rage Back Home, No I in Threesome, Slow Hands, and The Rover are all the way through. The conversation to fill out the last 4, stop sliding, is Untitled, Anywhere, Stella Was a Diver and She Was Always Down, Rest My Chemistry, If You Really Love Nothing, Narc, Evil, and The New. Oh, and Not Even Jail. All right, so do you have anything there that jumps out as we have to have that?
I'd make a case for If You Really Love Nothing and something from Antics. Like, it really doesn't matter. All those songs are great that we have on there, I think.
Okay. How are you feeling, Slights?
I'm genuinely shocked that nobody had PDA on their list.
I
didn't
PDA was one of those songs that was a real tough cut for me, but it just couldn't, like, I kept thinking of it like segmenting it by album, I guess, maybe, as opposed to all of their work, and it's just like, if I'm going to cut a song from this album, this is going to be it, even though I like that song, you know what I mean? Like, I probably didn't think about it in the proper way, I guess, but
it was one of my favorite. I think it was on GarageBand or Rock Band or Guitar Hero or Rock Band or something. I don't remember which one it was on, but it was one of my favorite songs to play on there.
Do you have anything that you're leaning on that you really want to get through, Slights?
Untitled for me would be the one of all those.
That's one of my favorites as well.
Well, I'm cool. I was the wrong one on that, so let's put that through. All right. So we need to get 3 more.
I would go Rest My Chemistry too.
I'm with that. Again, I was the holdout on that. I'm with that. That was definitely on my radar. So that means we need 2. So, at this point, we have 3 already through from the first record. Is it safe to drop Stella in The New?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have to have at least one other from Antics, I feel like.
Yeah, I'd want that. And again, I really want to go with If You Really Love Nothing. But
well, so we have 2 picks left, 5 songs. So let's pick our one from Antics.
Actually, I don't know, man. I think another from El Pintor would be good too. Shit, that's a great record.
All right, so well then let's narrow down Antics first, and we'll make it a 1v1.
Heard. All
right, so Narc, Evil, Not Even Jail. Of those 3,
I think I was the holdout on Narc, if my memory serves.
Yeah.
So I'm down with that one through. I mean, to me, it's there's no difference in the quality between those 3 songs. Honestly, I think they're all great.
Yeah. Do you have one that you're leaning towards, Slights?
I mean, I was gonna say I'd be totally happy with Not Even Jail getting in.
So let's drop Evil.
But if we want to do Narc, I'm fine with that too.
Let's drop Evil, and then
obviously I like Not Even Jail. It's on my list. So.
So to me, this sounds like the easy cut is Evil. So
yeah,
2 of these go in. So there's 4 songs left. 2 of them fight to the death. If You Really Love Nothing, Anywhere, Narc, Not Even Jail. And if we're looking at album representation, each one would be a second to their album, unless we put both from Antics through.
I don't know, man. This is hard, honestly. I really like all these songs.
So I think when I'm thinking about Narc and Not Even Jail back to back to to each other, Not Even Jail sticks out. Like I can hear it in my head. I can picture it.
It has that strong bass line to open it up, man.
Yeah. So like, I think between those two, I think Not Even Jail is the winner.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down with that.
So that leaves
stronger track.
So let's do If You Really Love Nothing versus Anywhere versus Not Even Jail. Only one of them goes. One of them has to go in the trash.
I thought we had 2 left, right?
Yes, we have 2 left with three in the conversation.
All right. Well, yeah, one of those. You're right. Okay. I don't know. As much as I really love If You Really Love Nothing, I think it's one of their best songs. I really want El Pintor to have another song represented on it. It really is a great record.
So you're saying Anywhere and Not Even Jail?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about that, Slights?
I would agree.
All right. So Anywhere and Not Even Jail it is. And I just want to put an added notation here. Go out of your way and, El Pintor is a super strong record. Marauder is a little weaker than El Pintor, but If You Really Love Nothing is a tremendous track.
Yeah, it is. It's a great song.
So if nothing, scoop that and listen to that. All right, so here's our 10 then. Obstacle 1, NYC, All the Rage Back Home, No I in Threesome, Slow Hands, The Rover, Untitled, Rest My Chemistry, Anywhere, Not Even Jail. All right, Bryan, I'm going to put your feet to the fire here. What's the number 1?
Man, this is hard. I kind of want to say All the Rage Back Home, honestly, but Obstacle 1 would be I think, the better answer there.
What do you think, Slights?
I was legitimately going to say All the Rage Back Home.
It's
just a
great
sweet
song.
riff, pulsing fast ass. It's just fun. It's a good time.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to back All the Rage Back Home because El Pintor surprised the hell out of me as far as, like I said, there's no real dip in quality, I don't think. There's noticeable differences between the records, but to hear Self-Titled and then come into El Pintor and be like, the heart is back. And this track specifically, I was like, no, this is great. And I think this is just a great way to introduce somebody to Interpol. So,
I mean, it's got a lot of fucking bangers on it. All the Rage Back Home. It's got My Blue Supreme, Anywhere, Everything Is Wrong. I mean, it's just song after song. It's a great record, man.
I mean, we didn't even talk about
Supreme was a very tough cut.
Yeah,
it was a tough cut for me too.
We talked about Tidal Wave because it was one of my last cuts. Ancient Ways was right there at the end. Same Town, New Story. Those were like right there in the conversation till the end.
My Desire, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we got our 10.
It's funny because we talked about how great their closers were, but did we put any of their closers on the list?
I don't think we did.
No, I don't think so. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because Leif Erikson was one of my last cuts. That's definitely a last track for sure. I think Ancient Ways was as well. All right. Go through it one last time. Our number 1 with a bullet, All the Rage Back Home. Obstacle 1, Slow Hands. NYC, No I in Threesome. The Rover, Untitled, Rest My Chemistry, Anywhere, and Not Even Jail. That is our 10, and we're sticking to it. If you're not into Interpol after that, then, dude, I don't know what's wrong with you. So, that being said, Bryan, the next time you'll be around will probably at this point be TLC when we do TLC with Sarah.
Tight.
I'm not sure how quick of a turnaround that'll be, but that will definitely be coming up. And
I gotta get on it. I haven't listened to their records in fucking forever, man.
Those first three, I didn't start on fan mail, but those first two are like just such a breeze to listen to. So,
oh yeah.
I have to re-listen to them.
Crazy Six Cool is one of those records that like defined the '90s for me.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Like it yeah. I mean that's a conversation for another night. Now, Slights, I know you're up for something, and right now it's escaping me.
That I am. I'm not sure.
I'll have to
I think we talked about doing Ryan Adams at some point, but I now believe that's probably off the board.
Yeah, with everything that had happened with him, I don't know. Maybe because I don't think anything has technically come of it yet, and it's kind of died down. But I don't know. I definitely did not feel very good about it.
People still hate him.
Yeah,
that's for sure. He's still hashtag canceled.
Well, he's also like he just hasn't hit. He's just an asshole.
Yeah, he was always an asshole.
All right,
I'll find something else to jump in on. We'll find something.
Yeah, there's bound to be something up there, so we'll find something. All right, well, with that,
I'll tell you what, if you wanted to, we could do like a short little redux on the Strokes because of that new album that just came out. That's really, really good.
Oh, okay, so more on that later. Let's talk about that later, I think, because there's an idea forming there. So, all right, well, with that being said, Interpol, learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.